Last year, we established Voice as the preeminent conference in the voice first era. And this year, we're taking it to a whole new level. Just kind of like, bam. Voice Summit is returning to Newark and will be headquartered at the campus of NJIT, New Jersey Institute of Technology. They have a brand new Wellness and Event Center, which will be the heartbeat of the conference. We expect more than 5,000 attendees over the 4 days of the conference. I'm Pete Erickson. I'm the founder of Modev, and I'm the creator of Voice Summit, the world's largest event focused on the voice first era. People that are coming in from out of town can really enjoy what's right here in and around Newark. The bars, restaurants, music venues, and we look forward to people having a really good time and experiencing the community.
I love this summit because it has me thinking about the really cool mergers between Newark, Tech, Alexa, and what the future holds.
One key difference this year at Voice is there will be a lot more interactive displays from some of the best companies in the world, walking through a smart home, experiencing what is Alexa in a car actually like.
I think having a presence at this Voice event that is, omni-industry was huge for us. Voice is the future, but it's also here.
Voice Summit will actually feature the top speakers across all content areas of the voice first era. We'll have our keynote stage, our workshops, our breakouts, our panels, our startup expo. We've added a number of new activations. There will be a hackathon. There will be the Voice First Awards ceremony. There's the Voice First Challenge. So there are many ways that people can actually get involved with the conference this year. We're thrilled to hear that most all sponsors are coming back this year. Microsoft and Amazon tripled their investment in this conference. People are getting on board because they realize this is the voice first era, and Voice is the conference where things are going to happen in this space.
Okay, so before we bring up the next speaker, we have to do something fun. I wanted to do this at the start, but I forgot. So we're going to do a little selfie here. And I want, I think what we'll do is, if you'll just bear with me, just do, maybe we'll do the V. Can we all do that? Like that? Okay, that's great. Okay, here we go. Just let me get this thing opened up. I have enough power from the night. Okay, you ready? All right. You got them up? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, that'll go well on Twitter. How are y'all doing? It's been some amazing speakers this morning, right? Some breaking news, and I am thrilled that Voice Summit is yet another platform for an announcement by a major global brand. The company that's going to come up here is the world's oldest airline. And you will be shocked, they are on the cutting edge of this market. They're on the cutting edge of voice, social, interaction. They're doing voice commerce. You can book tickets. It's amazing. I've really enjoyed getting to know them, and I'm thrilled that they're coming here to this stage to make an important announcement about what they're doing in voice. Martine Vanderleeuw, please come up. Martina, Vanderleeuw. Please come up. Martina came in from Amsterdam. Her flight was late. She landed at 2:30 this morning. Let's give it up for Martina. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We look forward to your announcement.
Thank you. Well, good morning, everyone. It's been quite a journey to get here from Amsterdam. I arrived this morning at 4 a.m. traveling with some minor disruptions. And working for an airline, that's, of course, our reality. I work at KLM Royal Dutch Airlines. Just a quick show of hands, who has flown with us before? Thank you, great. And maybe a bit more modest, who has heard of us? Who knows KLM? Okay, cool. I'll explain who we are. We are the oldest airline, turning 100 this year. And for us, new technology is really at the center of everything that we do. And I'll explain to you why that is so important. And how we launch our own Voice. Because Voice for KLM is an extremely important new interface to make travel easier and more comfortable for all our travelers. But we also felt that over the course of several years of experimenting with AI, experimenting with voice interfaces, it was quite difficult, and we felt something important was really missing, and that was our own voice. A little bit about myself. I am Global Head of Social Media at KLM. That is a team that has over 350 service agents working in 10 languages on many different platforms 24/7 to answer any kind of question our customers may have. But we also had a technology team. So my background is both in marketing and technology. So what we do is we build new services for our customers. And what I would like to talk about today is how travel changed over time and what kind of journey we had with our DNA as a brand and looking at real customer needs, how we use voice today and how voice helped us find our voice again. So going back a little bit into history, this is our founder, Albert Plesman, who founded KLM Royal Dutch Airlines 100 years ago. Yes, we are a legacy company. We're super old. But for us, what's extremely important is new technology. And that's really at the core of our DNA, of who we are as a brand. First of all, we're Dutch. We are pioneers, whether that was in the past, finding the newest routes, going there the quickest, getting the newest aircrafts. Today, that pioneering for us, it's really around digital and innovation. Second, it's about being Dutch. To us, that means we are pragmatic. We always look for solutions and how to solve things in the easiest way. And thirdly, it's about giving customers this warm, personal feel. And the essence of our business, just to explain a little bit how we work, also because not everyone is familiar with KLM yet. Well, the essence of our business over the past years has been pretty much the same. What we do is we collect people from all over the world. We fly with our partners to 500 different destinations. We collect them from all over the world. They transfer via our hub at Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam, and we make sure they reach their final destination. Our home market is really small. Only 30% of our tickets sold are being sold in the Netherlands. 70% is sold elsewhere in the world. And it means that we have to fight for every single ticket that we sell. And we have to make sure that we are top of mind in over 80 markets across the world. And that is a huge marketing challenge. And times are changing. So as we say, giving customers this warm personal feel is really at the center of what we do. But 100 years ago, if you look at this picture, we had about as many employees as customers. It was extremely easy. But today, giving this personal feel is extremely difficult because we need to use technology to scale. And we need to give this personal feel to 34 million passengers every single year. So with today's technology, what we really believe is that travel should be as easy as simply packing your toothbrush, your mobile and your passport and off you go. But the reality, and also as some of you might have seen yesterday while you were traveling, well, too often this reality is simply not there yet. And to make it even more complex, if we look at customer behavior today, that's actually reinforcing this complexity because we all scroll through meters of content in our feeds. And as a brand, you have to stand out in all that content. So there is a huge complexity that we all have to solve. And for us, we got this started actually, this thinking, embracing technology in a crisis, one of the biggest crises in aviation in 2010, when there was the eruption of the ash cloud in Iceland. I see some of you nodding, so maybe you were stranded and traveling. Yes, someone over there, I think he had quite an interesting story to tell. But what happened, thousands of passengers were stranded all over the world. And this is how our airport at Schiphol looked like. Lots and lots of customers, way too many service agents to help them. Our call centers were overloaded. And 2010, as you might imagine, the early days of social media, Facebook and Twitter were just up. We were discovering everything and we felt great about it. What happened is customers started to turn to Facebook and Twitter to ask us questions there. And during those early days, what we did is we posted a picture of an airplane about once a week. And we felt we were doing a terrific job. But during this moment, all of a sudden, we had to started to answer to all these questions. And being Dutch and pragmatic and aiming to give all our customers this one personal feel, what we did together with a group of managers at our headquarters, we rolled up our sleeves and we started to answer all these questions. And from there on, our thinking about customer centricity was really born. And it gave us a really important lesson, and that is that we need to be where our customers are. So if we would look at the world of digital as a galaxy, and we would put ourselves a bit egocentrically in the middle with our website and our newsletter and our app, it's actually not so relevant, because what we need to do is we have to be at the planets of others. So at the planets of Amazon, of Google, of Facebook, etc. So what we need to do is we need to be where our customers are, and we need to build our ecosystem on top of the ecosystems of others. And with that insight we started to work, and by now we have one of the largest social media service teams. We handle about 180,000 questions from customers every single week with a team of 350 agents in 10 languages. And the beauty of this is that we get a lot of data. So over the past 10 years, with all these questions that we got to build our database around service. And these are the typical questions that we get on a daily basis. And second, what is also meant for us is that it helped us find our voice on social. So it's not about this corporate tone of voice, like, hey, this is our policy, you can't do this, you can do that. It's really about mirroring the communication style of your customer and actually being human. And that's the biggest lesson that we learned on social. And what we see today is that this strategy of being where customers are, finding your own human voice on the platforms of others, that is really paying off. So these are our surfacing volumes on social and messaging today, and it's basically been growing exponentially every single year. And by now it has become the largest surface channel for KLM. And that for us is a very promising signal when we look at voice. Because what we believe what we are building today, whereas social media in the past was really building the equivalent of the digital town square, with the move to private messaging and private conversations, together we are building the equivalent of the digital living room. And that's reflected in our figures. 90% of all our conversations are no longer on public spaces or like Facebook or Instagram, but 90% of our conversations with our customers are on messaging. And that's what we started to leverage. So the first thing we did is that we brought all KLM.com functionalities to messaging. Get your booking confirmation, being able to check in, get updates about your flight. You can receive all these relevant notifications on Messenger, WhatsApp, WeChat and Twitter. And this has been crucial to support our passengers throughout their full journey. So we sent over 3 million boarding passes on messaging in 2018. 60% of all our flight and airport updates are via a messaging channel. And looking forward to voice, to the age of assistance, to us these are extremely strong signals that we will get there very soon. And on top of that, it's about automating conversations or automating parts of the conversation. And we've been using artificial intelligence in our service operation since 2016. By now, 50% of all our customer interactions, so the responses that we're giving, are supported by AI. And if we use AI, we become twice as fast. And the types of use cases that you can think of are suggestions to our agents, so prompts that they can send out. Or if our confidence level is high enough that we automatically send out the suggestion for them. Or it are bots where a human agent is no longer in play. It is automatically classifying cases. It is taking away the administrative tasks that our service agents normally would have to perform. And the results of just 3 years are really spectacular. And with all this, so building up all these conversations, using new technology, using the power of AI and experimenting with that, voice arrived. And we started to think about what we could do, and we felt very early that we had to focus on assistant-related cases. So for us, it's not so much about content, because we're an airline, we're not a publisher. It is not so much about games, because again, we're an airline, but it's really about providing the best possible service. And this is what we have built so far. We also feel that we're not performing well enough. So those 4 services, if you would ask now for KLM from your Google Assistant, you would get a sum up of services like, hey, would you like to book a trip, pack your bag, or do you need information about when to depart for the airport? So this way of approaching services and functionalities is not scalable because you'll go back to the old world of IVR-like structures, which is something that we don't want. The second thing, if we look at these services in an isolated way, for example, assistance with packing your bag, that feels very much like a gimmick. That's not solving a true customer problem in general, but in some specific cases, it could be very relevant. So for example, Bali in nearby Indonesia is one of the few countries where you don't need to bring a malaria net when you're traveling. So that is a very relevant piece of information. But if we would brand it as KLM's Pack Assistant, obviously it is just a gimmick, which is something that we don't want. We want to provide the best service. And thirdly, what we also feel that is extremely missing is we don't stand out as a brand. If we listen to how we sound on voice, it's generic. It could be any other airline. And these are things we wanted to solve and that we have been solving over the past year. So what we did is from going voice first, so figuring out the design principles, the technical principles for developing new services, we moved to how can I help you first? So instead of asking for KLM and then getting a long list of services, we changed this to our very first question that we now ask every single user who talks with us on a smart speaker. Our first question is, how can I help you? And if we already have a service available that answers this question for you, we'll direct you to it. If not, we either direct you to a human agent or we use this piece of information to train our data. So instead of pushing our roadmap on voice, we change this. And we make a roadmap that is really customer focused or customer centric. And our technology to do this was just the first step. So what we made is we built in-house a proxy layer that is really the master intelligence of identifying the intents of the customer, directing that to the right action or skill, as well as a modular bot structure to be able to exchange pieces of the conversation between one and the other. So for example, if you ask for checking in and you also want to know how much luggage you can bring, that it is one fluid conversation that can go from one device to the other. But for us, technology first is just step one. Because again, this doesn't really make us stand out as a brand. Yes, it is a smooth service and maybe today it is still something unique. But where does really our empathy and our human approach comes in? And that is something that I'm really excited about to launch today. So over the past months, we have been working very hard to build the KLM voice. So how does KLM sound on smart speakers and on assistants? And here's our thinking that I'd love to share.
Our friendly voice has made us stand out for over 100 years.
How can I help you?
Today, the world's largest social media team receives over 180,000 messages a week. To find our true voice, we need nothing new. We just combine what's already there.
How can I help you? How can I help you?
How can I help you?
How can I help you? How can I
How can I help you?
help you? How can I help you?
Together, we are the voice of KLM. How can I help you?
Thanks. So what we did together with a large group of employees, we started to record our voice. And our employees have become the voice of KLM. So instead of a synthetic voice or of having a voice actor, we have asked our employees to advise and to design the KLM voice. We recorded a large number of voices, which together make one audio voice. And we are now scaling this with the use of AI to make it work across markets, cultures, and languages. And more announcements in this field will follow very soon of us on how exactly we have approached this. And to sum up what we have done in this very exciting domain of voice. Well, the first thing that we have focused on is that we tap into existing behavior, whether that is on traditional social media in 2010 on Facebook and Twitter, on messaging as we're doing today, and looking forward to the future on voice and assistance. But more importantly, what we did is we not only built the technical infrastructure and architecture to handle all these requests and to go from one bot to the other, but what we really did is we tapped into our own DNA to define our brand voice. And that has, again, helped us find our voice. And with that, I'd like to thank you.
Thank you, Martina, and congratulations on such a great project. And we look forward to hearing the voice of KLM. All right, well, we're just about ready to go to lunch, but before we do, we have a very special guest among us. We've had many this morning, and you're in Newark, the city of Newark. We chose Newark through a competitive process. Newark is a city in transformation. That doesn't happen without great leaders. And to send us off to our expos and to lunch, I want to bring up the Honorable Mayor Ras Baraka from Newark. Let's give it up for Mayor Ras Baraka. Thank you for hosting us, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Just want to say welcome. Want to thank Pete and Modev and obviously NJIT, Joe Bloom, for allowing us the opportunity to host this conference a second time. It already looks like there are more people here than it was last year. This is awesome for us in the city of Newark, particularly as he said, this is a growing city. We are trying to desperately become the tech hub on the East Coast here. In the city, we have a bunch of venture capital that are being put into tech economy and growing tech hubs and opportunities for young people to get involved. We actually, thanks to the conference, have about 500 high school and junior high school kids that'll be going to all of the conference events and breakout sessions. So we're excited about that. I'm excited to talk to these young people when it's over, find out their experience. If you see one of them, please make them feel comfortable, make them feel welcome. Let them know that voice technology is what's happening in the future, and they should take this seriously and get involved in it. We are working together to make Newark an incredible place to be. So I hope you enjoy yourselves here while you're here. Go to our restaurants down on Ferry Street, enjoy yourself, check out the museum if you can, NJ Pack if you have time to, hang out at Military Park, Washington Park. There's a lot of great things for you to do. Enjoy yourselves. Thank you for choosing Newark. Thank you for being here in our great city. Have an incredible time. It just feels good to know that voice technology is being discovered, moved forward, expanded right here at NJIT in the city of Newark. God bless y'all.
Hi, I'm Tom Wisniewski. I'm one of the managing directors of Newark Venture Partners. We're a venture capital fund based right here in New Jersey. Among other things, we invest in voice technologies of various sorts. We do that for primarily B2B technologies, so where someone is using a voice technology of some kind to aid a company. So an example of that would be a company called Orbita, which is actually here today in the expo room, which has a technology that allows healthcare in a hospital per se to build platforms that will help patients outside of the hospital, outside the four walls of the hospital, at home. So for instance, having an Alexa there that could help monitor an elderly person who's recovering from a diabetes operation of some sort, to be there to monitor their wearables, pull the wearable information in, pull their medication how they've been taking their medication, talk to them, and then the technology in the middle kind of highlights and sifts that data and can then prompt the doctors and the nurses when something might be going wrong. So that's just one of the examples of how in Newark we're looking at voice. I think that Newark as a place with voice is set up to succeed. I mean, not just by the fact that this conference is here, but it's here, I think, for a number of great reasons. And one in particular is this is the home of Audible, right? So Amazon division of Audible, fantastic company, growing like crazy. They're the dominant force in audiobooks. Right, and they've been drawing people into Newark for years. They are, I think, still today the largest employer of actors in the New York area because they use them for voice talent. So they've been in that voice world for so long, really kind of ahead of their curve. And I think with that as a base, those people here, it's really just very helpful to startups that want to do voice because there's so many people in that company that could mentor, that could talk about voice technologies and whatever it may be. So I think that and just the general environment that we're building here along with others that's conducive to startups, it is a great place to come to build a voice startup. And every company that comes here is trying to have some impact on the ecosystem, not just their company, but we work with school systems. There are tablets that Audible provides that not only students can read, but it can be read too. So you can learn language on them. That's just one of the many examples, I think, of how we're trying to use voice as one of the ways to propel Newark as a technology center.
Hi, my name is Ari Rabban. I'm the CEO of Phone.com. I'd like to say we're a 10-year-old startup that started right here in Newark, New Jersey. We have since grown. We actually started at the facility here at NJIT at the EDC. And then since graduated, then moved downtown. We now have over 100 employees overall, 32,000 businesses, and we do a lot of work in the state of New Jersey and in the city of Newark. And we're happy to support startups, work with entrepreneurs, work with nonprofits, and mainly work with small businesses of all types of industries. And excited especially, and that's one of the reasons we're here, to continue and innovate and work with AI, adding collaboration, tools for support, tools for sales, and we'll be announcing some services that have to do with security and authentication. So overall, a lot going on and very excited. Thank you very much.
The Voices Conference today has been amazing. Destination Newark, New Jersey. Newark is the global destination for technology, development, anything dealing with the next generation of voice. I'm excited to be here. Coach on Call has provided a destination today for Newark youth, young adults who are looking to get into audio, development, technology. And what I'm finding is that for many of them, NJIT is their first time. Adiel, come on over. Adiel Augustin is one of our many students. We brought about a dozen, the majority from Newark, New Jersey, to the Voices Conference. What has it been like today for you as a future audio engineer and technology guru?
This is a great experience to come, to see everything around. And
so what are some of the things you've been seeing? We see Amazon is here.
Yeah, Amazon, Alexa, it's a lot. You just gotta look around.
So for Newark, New Jersey today, our young people who are coming in, they're mixing with innovators, developers, and I'm just gonna say tech geniuses. NJIT is providing a resource today for the global marketplace of Alexa. And we're also here today with the Newark Pop-Up Print Shop. We want to give a shout out to Sister Emifa. She's designing the custom badges, t-shirts, but more importantly, she provided a mentorship apprenticeship for Newark youth. As a career coach, and many of the young people I coach are from Newark and the surrounding areas, this has been a day to bring them in for live mentoring. They're talking to entrepreneurs, they're talking to web developers, tech developers, and Newark is, as always, innovating and on the cutting edge of what's happening globally.